Hey guys, Bowie here, and this is things I've learned with VP.Ramzes Ursa in 7.18. I know we mentioned Ursa just a couple of videos ago, but today we'll be talking about the OG carry Ursa. This is an okay Ursa game, since X is a pretty decent matchup versus the Ursa, but there are some counters, we will talk more about that later. You can deal with battle hunger nicely in lane, and you also trade very well against the hero. Because of that, Dire, smartly enough, sends everyone else bottom, and this is not comfortable for the Ursa. This hero thrives from dominating lanes, playing from ahead, and snowballing out of it. This means that the only answer is swapping lanes. You do have to walk by foot in a high MMR game like this, or else you're going to have everyone else TP into the lane you actually go to. Interestingly enough, Ramzes learns Earthshock instead of the passive this game. With X's learning Battle Hunger level 1 nowadays, you can actually get CS and cancel the effect better than with Overpower or Free Swipes. You also slow X down if he tries to run you down with the skill, so that's nice. Even then, look how the X waits for Ramzes to get a CS and then uses Battle Hunger. The damage from Dire is too strong, repelling Ramzes away from the creeps pretty much. He tried his best in drawing aggro to get CS, but with level 1 Splinter Blast being buffed and X getting level 2 before him since he had to walk from bottom to the top lane, he's forced to TP out to survive. Thanks to that TP and salve, he's able to make use of all those creeps that accumulated without giving first blood, but there is a side effect to it. We will talk more about it later. The support Venge makes sure to attack the range creep once, so that Ramzes 100% gets it, so if you're a support, take notes. X goes for quite a smart play. While Ramzes did survive thanks to his TP, this means that Ramzes cannot follow him towards the bottom lane, and now he has to lane against Visage. Terrible matchup for Ursa. He cuts his way nicely through the trees, avoiding damage, but still pretty rough. When his TP cooldown is back, he goes bottom, but he makes sure to fair himself more regen. The problem though is that Visage's TP was used way before, allowing the hero to follow Ramzes to the bottom lane. While that's a problem, it's still better to be there than top, since the natural creep equilibrium benefits him and his supports have an easier time pulling to adjust any changes. I feel like in a lane like this, some players would feel like phase boots would be a way better tool to catch up to the Visage, but going Ekla first is just so much better. Even with phase boots, it's just too easy for the Visage to grave chill and get out. The move speed differential that the skill creates is not something phase boots would solve, especially with Crystal Maiden in the mix. When his team wants to get kills, he can still close the gap to aid even without the phase boots. As he gets that kill, look how he instantly runs towards the range creep and then notes 2 extra heroes in his lane. Note that even with boots and Windlace on the Wyvern, takes to his level 2 slow, he can chase the support to get a kill. If you check his mana right now, he has 26 extra mana as he right-clicks that hero. When he got the Ekla, his mana regen went up 0.7, and after 40 seconds, he gets pretty much that same amount of mana, just showcasing one of the many reasons Ekla is a great item. That's not even counting the damage and the attack speed, and the attack speed is actually very important early on the Ursa because you don't really have a lot of attacks with your first swipes. I'm not saying phase boots is bad, but a lot of lower MMR players still underrate this item quite a bit. Yes, he had a mango, but he's going to be able to use that later when it matters. As he dies, he also buys out, getting both the Blades of Attack as well as a TP, losing no gold whatsoever. He keeps making a conscious effort to avoid Visage and goes top after that death. Winter is there, but once again, we see how the lockdown from his supports is enough for him to get kills even without phase boots. Note that as he pops Overpower, Cold Embrace gets committed, and instead of using the attacks, he actually waits the skill out. He clicks the hero to check the debuff duration perfectly, and he only enrages to dispel Crystal Nova and Frostbite, ultimately getting a kill for himself. X TP stop eventually, and while they get this kill, the reason they are able to do it is that CM TP'd bottom. Also note how he maxes Earthshock to be able to chase heroes like CM and X down. With the buff to Overpower, you need less of your W or E to get kills, and you can max your slow against heroes with no escape. He ends up using ult to dispel Battle Hunger, and while it takes time, look how he splits from Venge when chasing X, pretty much locking him down in a very narrow spot instead of blindly chasing a hero. Later on, he commits the mango, but drops the Ekla first. Be efficient. Note how he draws aggro from the creep wave afterwards to not only accelerate his farm, but to enable the creeps to take the tower. Hitting the tower as an Ursa not only takes a lot of time, but it's dangerous to stand that close to the tower in case a rotation comes. He already pushes like a creep anyways, so at least he enables his creeps to do it faster while getting a small camp at the same time. Even with all that, this game is not a sweet and clean game by Ramzes. Since he didn't have a perfect laning stage and he's against two decent matchups on Windranger and Visage, he dies here and then later on to the Helm of the Dominator carry. While you can dispel Gravechill, there's way too much kite and lockdown for the Dire team. That Windranger is so annoying in fact that Ramzes needs to play around her, especially before he has a Blink Dagger. As he pushes bottom, note the Windranger was dead and that a fight starts off. It's pretty clear that the Windranger would like to participate since she's pretty strong at the moment, but she's not showing, which probably means she TP'd before the fight started, while Ramzes was a solo Ursa showing bottom. He hides. Even though his Blink Dagger is super close and the creeps are there just waiting to be farmed. He can smell the blink, but he can also smell the ginger scent a mile away, and there she was. By TPing after that, he knows that he's safe mid, and he also defends an objective. Not only that, he gets the Dominator creep that Visage forgot about, finishes his Blink Dagger, and now he's ready to fight. His team smokes with him, and as he approaches top, note how he clicks the Visage. That here is full HP and mana with Bird's Guardian. If Ramzes jumps first, not only there's people behind Visage for sure since no one is showing, he might also deal pretty much negligible damage and die. Look how he plays around that. He waits for the Naga to get closer so that the Gravechill gets used on her, and then he even waits slightly to jump so that the duration wears off. Wyvern ults the Illusion instead of Ramzes, allowing him to take CM down, but keep watching. Although he has Blink Dagger and Earth Shock ready, he doesn't jump because Windranger is not showing, and without Enrage he can get bursted down. Only when Shackle gets used he goes, and he only jumps after two heroes align. Not only that, when Cold Embrace gets used, he hovers over the Windranger knowing that attacking now will waste the overpower. And it's not over, that allows him to burst the Windranger down. He uses the tree area here to disengage, and the only reason he actually dies is that the swap breaks the tree, so the support was trying to help, but ends up killing him unfortunately. After getting Morbid Mask, Ramzes jumps the pit, and while there was a dire Helm of the Dominator creep there, his team is fighting mid, and he thinks he can get Roche just because Radiant is there. X is showing top, and with the Naga song, even if ever so slowly, he manages to get the Aegis. One thing that a lot of Ursa players struggle with is that once they get the Aegis, they think they're god and they just dive someone in tower range expecting to get 1 or 2 kills. Ursa is inherently a pick-off hero. The way the damage output of this hero works is in small bursts of damage. Unlike a Morphling or a Sven, you cannot expect to keep hitting until you kill 5 heroes. The way you utilize Aegis with Ursa is, you force people out of position first, and then you get pick-offs maybe in other lanes. Ramzes goes top, that obviously will draw people towards that area, and he TPs mid with X showing. Look how he does it though. First of all, he doesn't dive the creep wave, not only to avoid getting called by Gork, but also he gets damage in the tower so he can get the deny. Since people got lured top, and he has this ward, when CM shows mid, he can quickly jump her. Note that he doesn't ult straight up, he saves the ult for the Frostbite, giving him a kill, and in fact he saves the overpower mana knowing that he's already low in that department. And understanding whether you can actually use your ult to dispel something or you have to use it straight away when you jump is important, and CM is definitely one of the heroes that you actually save it. He doesn't end here, he disengages since the Wyvern shows up, but watch how he plays afterwards. Windranger blinks forward mid to cut the next wave. So now there are 2 heroes that cannot fight. Even without Enrage, he jumps the X here, and this time, since there's no Windranger, Curse gets wasted. Not only that, he understands the Windranger is now coming, and that he has no Enrage, so going forward is very stupid, even though he has Aegis. He disengages to buy Enrage and Blink Dagger time. Thanks to the high ground vision, and also knowing that Gork already has Fury Swipes on him, he gets a kill, knowing that he doesn't have to spend the slow to get it. Since he saves that mana, he has more than enough damage to follow up onto the Meme Hammer combo later, and they secure a 5-man wipe without ever committing the Aegis. The way Ramzes moved everyone around the map, while also understanding the heroes that he needs to jump, gave them this fight. We can see Radiant playing top tier Dota again. Dire forces bottom tier 2 here, and as Ramzes respawns, he TPs to defend it, but if you check top, it's pushing super hard. If Dire really disengaged from there would be at least one TP showing. By calling Naga to the bottom lane, they can play around whatever it is that Dire has waiting for them, which not only is Call, but Freezing Field. The song cancels both, but look how Ramzes himself gives the call to Meme Hammer the Wind Ranger. As long as the combo is done right, she won't be able to wind run, and they start bursting the most important hero in the game. Later on, Ramzes keeps on playing in a way to get pickups. With enemies dead, he can definitely keep on going for more, and his Quap is already pushing mid. He doesn't offer that much push, and brings way more value to his team by setting up close to the tower they're going for. They also have this ward here, so this is the perfect spot, right behind this tree. Gork tries to save the Wyvern, which is a nice gesture, but note how Ramzes plays. Instead of committing the overpower when call ends, which has a backswing, he keeps on walking forward to first get the slow and then the means of using the W. This is one of the last fights, and we can see perfectly how Ramzes' decision making is sharp. They pinged the Visage here because Wind Ranger was showing bottom, so same story, getting pickups. They know that if the Wind Ranger TPs, they'll have vision of her on the shrine, or she'll be in the tier 3 and then locked by the Song of the Siren. Not only that, he also gets a glimpse of Gork in the right side of the map. The thing is, Winter Wyvern is also a problem. Winter's Curse is super annoying, but Quap has an Orchid. So instead of doubling down on one hero, not only Gork can take Visage in the left side, he's also further away from the Wind Ranger Shackle and the Call, crippling their entire team fight. Winter barely survives an ult, and as that happens, Ramzes' BKB reaches him. After that fight, they can just shove the waves, Rosh quickly, and as Dire prepares to go, Roshan falls. One thing I feel like people underestimate to this day is Ring of Aquila. I talked about it earlier in the video, right? If you were playing Ursa here, and you had Aegis, Morbid Mask and Aquila, would you sell the Mask or would you sell the Aquila? Note that he's super low in HP, so he needs the lifesteal, right? The lifesteal doesn't really help in fights 95% of the time. The lifesteal is pretty much a Roshan tool. Roshan just died, and he's willing to finish his Abyssal Blade and win the game right now, while he also has lot problems. It's just natural to sell the mask, and he sells it in the secret shop, showcasing how important Aquila is, even to an item that seems very core on Ursa, the Morbid Mask. With that item done, they group up, and look how the Abyssal Blade is a second ult. Thanks to that item, he can kill a support like Crystal Maiden without having to pop either BKB or ult, saving those kills for the Visage. Unfortunately, thanks to Cold Embrace, the layers rebuild on Visage, and he doesn't have the burst just yet. Even then, the Radiant is just too strong, and they just eventually win the game. Guys, I'm overwhelmed with the positivity that you guys were able to bring on stream, on Reddit. It's been insane, overwhelming. That being said, I really wish you guys stopped with the donations. Last year blessed me with the opportunity to travel to TI, and I just don't want it again. Hospitality is a great thing, but I want to do things with my own means. My problem right now is more of a cash flow problem than a cash problem necessarily. And as I said, I do appreciate every sub and donation you guys pulled off, but I promise I'm trying every single route to get a sponsor involved and to get the funds I'm owed to my bank account. Brazil is not a fun place to live when it comes to banks, but anyways, thanks for watching. If you want dank memes or Dota tips, follow me on Twitter. Twitch is where I cast and play, and Instagram is where food, life stuff, and Dota get together. We also have a Discord community that has a lot of cool people, and if you want more crispy music, keep watching or finish the replay in the client. As always, guys, love ya.